Dear brothers and sisters, so as we gather here for this weekend, we've been always trying to understand the spiritual path better. As many of you are aware, the teachings of the great saints have been there with us for thousands of years. And the path is practiced in all different parts of the world. And so people with different cultures and different backgrounds are those who adhere to the teachings of the spiritual path. And so many times as we focus our attention on trying to put the path for our own goodness, we find that because things culturally might be different for us, our faiths might be different, we try to understand how to put the spiritual path in our lives so that we would be helped. And so questions arise. And so we try to address a few of them because the question of one person generally answers the questions of many, many others. And so let us address some of the questions which came this week.
How can we coexist with loved ones who may not share our beliefs?
Many people who come to the path, except for those who were born in a family which was on the path, and so they got to know about the path from when they're little. But most people come to the path after they were not on the path before. Yeah. And so it's a choice that they make. They search, and they search to whatever needs they have, brings them to the path. They try the path, they like it, and then they adhere to the path. Okay. So the path is telling us that our real self is our soul. And that soul is a part of God. And God being an ocean of all love, our soul is a drop of that ocean, that our inherent quality is of love. Okay? So we want to be loved and we want to distribute love. Okay? That's our inner quality, because even though we camouflage with all kinds of mind, matter, and illusion, but our soul is full of love. Okay? And so, as we try to understand who we are, then our relationships with everyone else also get to be at the level that we understand ourselves. So once we realize that we are soul, and that happens only as we meditate, because through meditation our attention goes into arenas which are not physical. We are able to rise above physical body consciousness. We are able to get into arenas which are spiritual. We experience the love of our spiritual master. We experience the love of God as we go on the spiritual journey. Because the journey within is a journey of love, is a journey of light. Yeah. So as we experience ourselves as being full of love, then only love needs to radiate from us to others. So we should not question what other beliefs are. Because, we also, all of us are on different trajectories back to God. Someone's here, someone's here, someone's here, someone's there. So everyone has their own journey that they're going to be playing out in their life. So if someone in a household is not on the path, and our path is saying we should stay away from all animal products, and if they do consume animal products, we should not get upset at them. Okay? We need to be loving, we need to be caring. So in this day and age, especially in the last 50 or 100 years, I think, the societies have changed. Okay? We used to live in a very male-dominated society hundreds of years ago. If you look back at history, that's how society was. And then in the last 100 years, there's been a lot of attention on giving education for the woman. Okay? And so what has happened is, as people have gotten educated, and education brings a lot of new thinking to us, and we learn a lot. We all, as we get educated, then try to explore. Okay? Gone are the times when a kid who was born, let's say, in a family, stayed in that family and in that neighborhood, in that society for their whole life. Now the person is educated, okay? And now communication between the world have become more. Travels to other parts of the same country and other countries become more. Because gone are that you only went by horses or you went by walking to some places. Now you can travel, you can go here, you can go there. And so your education takes you to areas away from where you grew up. Okay? So as soon as that happens, then the family gets broken up. Okay? So as the family gets broken up, things that were prevalent hundreds of years ago are not applicable today. Okay? Everyone was living together. There was the head of the family. Everyone listened to the head of the family. All decisions were made by the head of the family. Everyone adhered to it. Not anymore. Okay? Why? Because one, they're not living together. They're all living in different areas. Others, everyone now educated. Everyone becomes super smart. So when you become super smart, you don't want to listen to anyone else. Everyone has jobs. They can make their own money. There's no dependence on anyone else. So these are the factors which are bringing all of us away from each other. Because we just think, oh, I know too much. So then there's no dependency. Okay? When you live in that environment, then you start to get away from that feeling of love. You start to be more focused on your brain. Yeah? You start to be focused on your intelligence, because you have to survive on your own. You have to use your brains and intelligence to get a job, get to a new area, whether it's the same country, another town, you have to make new friends. It takes a lot of effort. So you start to use your own resources, right? And so that the love which was there, which brings us together, is gone. Okay? Because we now have gravitated someplace else. We're using different parts of our system. Okay? But the key is, wherever you live, and whosoever living in the household, whether they agree with you or not, you need to be loving to them. If you're not loving to them, then you are creating a wall between yourself and them. Okay? Because if you keep on telling them, oh, why are you eating meat? Why are you doing this? Animals are being slaughtered. There are 50 million things you can talk about. So what you're doing is, you're making the other person feel bad. Okay? They're going to retaliate. So you are making a rift. So I think resilience is very important in life. One needs to be resilient to the surroundings and the changes. Life changes every day. They say that the cells in our body are changing every day. Every moment something changing in our physical body. Okay? That's what the scientists are telling us. So we need to adhere to the changes of life. And if we have changed and someone else has not changed, doesn't mean something wrong with them. Okay? So we need to be loving to them. We need to be resilient to their way of thinking. And if we have changed for what we think is better, then as we adhere to our principles, hopefully our presence is going to radiate some love, some goodness, something nice into their lives. So let's say if with time they feel that you've become a calmer person, you become a more loving person, you're more adaptable to changes, then they might think, hey, maybe this is not bad, this is maybe good. Yeah? And so I think as a human being, we need to make sure that our presence is the best that we can put up there. And that will only happen if we experience love for ourselves, which is what we do as we meditate. As we meditate, we connect with the divine light and sound of God. We connect with the divine current of divine love, which started from the Creator. And so as we experience the love of God, it impregnates our soul, and so that love also then oozes out from us to others. And as it oozes out from others, then irrespective of whatever um, their thinking is, irrespective of whatever their beliefs is, at least from us, we should be resilient enough not to get angry because they're not doing what we expect them to do, not to be like mad at them, because if we are mad at them, nothing's going to help. It's going to just make the situation worse and worse and worse. Nothing's going to improve. Okay, and so we need to get to a state where we just send out rays of love. We just send out love from us to everyone else in the household, not only the household, but everyone else that we meet. And this is why Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj, he wrote very beautifully in one of his verses. He says, "Gale laga lo, har insaan ko ke apna hai. Chalo to raah guzaron mein, baante hue pyar." He's saying, embrace everyone as your own and pass through life distributing the love of God. So whether it's in our household, whether it's in our place of work, whether it's in our community, I think love should flow out from us to everyone else. And as we train ourselves to do that, and as we also become more and more resilient, it's easy said than done. Okay, as we become more resilient to the changes or differences that we find. So I think it's in that diversity that we need to focus on the unity. And what is the unity in all the diversity that we find surrounding us? Is God, the Creator. Because God is the one who sent us here. God is the one who's giving us life. A part of God is what we truly are. So our soul being a part of God, and we have God within ourselves. And so we need to let that love of God come out from us in all kinds of circumstances.
How can meditation help us in our studies and work life?
Meditation definitely helps our productivity at work. It also helps for our studies to get better for the following reason. The process of meditation is a process of concentration. Yeah. There are a lot of distractions that we have in life. Yeah. So when we sit down to meditate, in all of the distractions that are surrounding us, we found a quiet place for ourselves to sit down. Okay, and we close our eyes and we meditate. Okay, and then there are distractions on the inside, from the thoughts. And so we learn how to concentrate when all these things are pulling us apart. Someone's pulling in this direction, something pulling us in that direction, but we learn how to concentrate. And so when we meditate, we learn how to concentrate so we can connect with the divine light and sound of God within ourselves. So as we learn to concentrate better and better and better, which happens the more we practice, then it not only helps us in bettering our meditations and our spiritual growth, it also helps us in our life on the outside. Sant Singh Ji Maharaj would often say, on spiritual health depends the health of the body and the mind. Okay? So when we meditate better, then we learn the techniques of concentration. As we learn the techniques of concentration, they help us in our work situation because we're more productive. So when we can concentrate more, then we assimilate more in a short period of time. And whatever work we are doing, we do it much faster. So our productivity improves. As our productivity improves, then whatever we're doing at work is going to be more efficient. Okay. As a student, as we meditate and our concentration improves, then whatever we're studying, we can grasp that much faster, much easier. And so as we grasp it much easier, we can reproduce it much easier too. Because whatever we learn will come out at the time of our exams. And so meditation helps us be more efficient at work. It helps us to be more concentrated in our studies so that our studies will get better. There have been studies which have been done around the globe on meditation being helpful at the workplace and also in our studies. The realization that it's the concentration powers that increase in us happens as we meditate. Because the more we meditate, the more we are concentrating, the better our chances in concentrating at whatever we do, whether it's at work, whether it's for our studies, whether it's doing something else in the home. It's the process of learning to do one thing at a time, you know. So you can learn how to do one thing at a time. You're very concentrated. You can do it quickly, and so you don't get disturbed. You know, how many times when you go to work, these things happen. Let's say you're sitting at your desk, and all of a sudden someone comes in and says, "Can you help me with this thing?" Right? So you're working on something, and all of a sudden you get distracted because you're trying to help them. Or you say there's a break time, and let's say your break is 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you go to your, whatever rooms you have for a cup of coffee or a drink, and you get there, but then you spend half an hour there because you start talking about what happened in the football game overnight, or what happened here, or you get into politics or something else. And so you get distracted, right? So you have to come back and concentrate. Okay? So as we meditate, we are repeatedly learning how to concentrate better and better and better. And it definitely is helpful in us being able to do whatever we do much more efficiently and be able to be more concentrated, and the effects are that whether we are at work, whether we are a student, whether we're dealing with other activities on our day-to-day life, we are performing much better.
On the spiritual path, what does it mean to rise above body consciousness?
In a sense, a lot of information about spirituality and about our soul and about the flights of the soul and the journeys of soul is coming from the East. So a lot of the writings and the teachings of the great saints have been translated from those languages which are prevalent in the East to English. Okay. Now, whenever you translate something, there's a loss, because no translation can be exact, or the ones who are doing the translation might not be fully aware of what they are translating, so that the message that they put out sometimes becomes contrary to exactly what it is. So rising above physical body consciousness has been talked about in all the literatures of spirituality. Because in the East, it's talked about higher states. Okay? So the higher states got converted into rising above. But what we need to understand is, and what you can tell others who are afraid to sit down to meditate because they think, oh, the soul is going to rise. And they think the soul is going to rise, go out of the body, and God knows if it comes back or not. I mean, you would worry if you feel like, oh, I'm sitting meditation, and the powerhouse which is giving me life, which is my soul, is now going to rise and go out of the body, and God knows where it goes to meet God. And what if it never comes back? Say, I don't want to die, right? So what one needs to understand is that the soul is not going out of the body. So rising above physical body consciousness is a wrong explanation, okay? But it's there in the literature. So it's in the literature, you can't change it. It's been used for like hundreds of years. Can't change it. But here is exactly what happens, okay? The spiritual regions are occurring concurrently with this physical region of us. There's the physical region, then there's the astral region, there's the causal region, there's the supercausal region, and the region of Sachkhanda, the region of our truth. They're all occurring simultaneously. It's like different frequencies. You have in your home, you have TVs, right? So different frequencies are being transmitted. And so you can tune into a channel and watch a sports game. You can tune into another channel and watch news, let's say. You can tune into another channel and watch movies. So they're all being transmitted different frequencies, okay? So these spiritual regions are occurring at very different frequencies than we're aware in the world outside. Okay? And they're occurring concurrently at the same time. See, in the TV at the same time, you can flip from one channel to another to another. That transmission is happening all the time. So these regions are also occurring at the same time. So it's a question of focusing your attention and taking it from one arena to another, from one realm to another. And that's the key. So rather than talking about rising above physical body consciousness, we need to talk about, okay, where are we focusing our attention? Do we focus in this arena or that arena? Like when you're watching TV, if you turn your channel from one to another, you're not rising above and jumping, hitting the ceiling. You're still sitting there because you can push that button and you can change the channel. So here too, when you're meditating, you're not going to all of a sudden like the soul's going to go up someplace. It's just that the soul's going to experience something else because it's changing its focus, changing its attention, is going into a different realm. And I think that's the way to explain to someone. And explain it like that, then it's very easy to understand. Because of the words higher consciousness, or rising above physical body consciousness, the words when they got translated like that. And they've been there for many hundreds of years. But actually, it's just having our attention in this arena, or this arena, or that arena. And when someone understands like that, then I think it becomes much easier for them to meditate. Okay, let's meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently as you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyebrows should be straight, focus 8 to 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. Those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. The repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light in His effulgence. I will be sitting for a few minutes as my prayer to the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Savan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and the Alpurush Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help us be guided into the spiritual regions and to be able to experience the love of God as we go on the spiritual journey. I'll be getting you out of this meditative state in a few minutes, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave on.